We're now going to move to item F, and I am really excited about this next item. I'm going to ask the chair of our Measure B Citizens Bond Oversight Committee to come forward. We are required under Proposition 39 to have an independent Citizens Bond Oversight Committee for our the money that we're using in our capital program. And we have had this committee in place since our bond passed in 2006. And every year they give us an annual report, and tonight we get to hear that report. And so I want to welcome you and Mr. White. And can you introduce yourself, please? And directors, there's a packet in front of you, and it includes the actual report from the committee. Go ahead, Mr. White and Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board, Superintendent, audience. My name is Tim White. I'm Associate Superintendent, Facilities Planning, and tonight we're here to talk to you about something that's pretty exciting for us. I would like to open this item by giving appreciation to the Measure B Committee. It is actually a committee that has been in effect since 2006 and has provided really effective oversight to the expenditures associated with the Measure B bond that was approved by this electorate in 2006. Particularly, I wanted to call attention to Patricia and her colleagues for serving extra time. They have been especially thoughtful and hardworking. And testament to that is the Saturdays they put in, the site visits that they make, the work that we actually complete against Measure B proceeds that they actually go out and inspect, and gives them a very rounded feel for not only what we are doing, but that the work that we are doing meets the expectations of the voters. The report that Patricia is here to present to you tonight, in summary, is an annual report that we're required to present once a year. The annual report also contains something that we're very proud of, which is an actual audit. Audit is a big term around school districts, and so anytime you can get a good audit, we want to brag about it. In this case, that audit actually affirms that what we said we would do with the money, we have actually done. And so I'd like to turn it over to Patricia Williams to say a few words about serving on this wonderful committee.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to talk to you, board members and superintendent. As Tim said, the Measure B is a 6-year bond. It was approved in 2006 for $435 million. State law requires that the board, that you set up our Independent Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. We are in our 5th year of operation, and I know that you have a copy of the report. I also know that there's a lot on the agenda tonight, so I'm just going to cover a few quick highlights. The bond to date has spent about $401 million. That's for 110 projects. This year, there's $64.7 million of the bond was spent. The projects that are covered by the bond are dispersed throughout the entire city. The work that is done constitutes mainly modernization and new construction projects. The kinds of work that is done, classrooms, student restrooms, digital technology, libraries, multi-purpose rooms, cafeterias, wellness centers, child development centers, alarm replacement, playground and athletic fields, play structures. The report has highlights of some of the particular projects that you might want to take a look at. Another benefit of the Measure B funds is that we do support the local economy. The district has awarded work to over 152 local contractors, and that's meant $60 million of this money has gone directly into our city. Measure B is also important because we can leverage these funds. We've been able, through the Measure B funds, to apply for grants and matching funds of applications of over $60 million, and we've brought in $30 million, or I'm sorry, the district has brought in $30 million through that. I'd like to recognize the contributions of my other committee members, but more importantly, I want to recognize the hard work of district staff on all this important project work throughout the city, and in particular, the creativity and the diligence of the facilities staff. And I think on that note, I don't think that we have much else that I want to say, except to say that I think our committee really appreciates the comment that our prior chair said, where she said, we've seen on our visits countless examples of positive, productive work in schools in all regions of the district. And I know that the committee members, all of us look forward to working on the 6th year of the bond next year. If you have any questions, I'm happy to address any of those.
Great. We'll take questions from the board, and we may also have some public comment on this. Any questions, board members? Director Gallo.
No, I just want to also publicly commend Ms. Williams and the rest of the committee for their excellent work. I see you at all the schools, just about, taking a look to make sure that those tax dollars that were invested in our schools are well spent. So I just want to publicly thank you for the many hours of service and keeping us on track in terms of providing a quality environment for our kids. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Anybody else? I want to commend you for the report itself. If you have not had an opportunity to look at this report, it's really beautiful. There's some really great, I'm noticing some great little graphics in here. Having served on that committee in its early years before I joined the school board, this is a huge leap forward in Measure B report, so it's a good one. I really appreciate that. Are there any, Director Hinton-Hodge, did you want to say something?
No, I was simply going to thank you as well for your work, and I appreciate you being here tonight, like the patience to be here right now to do this report, and also for our good sense to make sure that you didn't get lost in the crowd, and that really acknowledging that, I mean, these are the things that work in our district, and I don't hear us acknowledging enough, when we are actually doing the right thing and what's right. So it means a lot that you stayed through, the beginning of this meeting to really be here and be present. So thank you for that. And then just the last thing to say that as we move forward, the next agenda item is to look at doing this again. And so thank you for being the model on how best to do this work. And I guess to say out to community, again, if you want an opportunity to actually be a part of this district and its growth and its development and its restructuring and its realigning of resources, these are the type of opportunities that are totally available for community members to be a part of. And so everyone can be included in really supporting this district be great. So thank you again for your service.
Director Yee.
Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Williams. I noticed in our package we have a resolution 1112-0776. Is that in the consent?
No, that's going to be a resolution that we're going to consider shortly when we get through other items. We do have several vacancies right now on the committee, and so we're going to fill 2 of them tonight, but we will still have 2 more to fill. So thank you for the opportunity to put out a commercial for anyone in the audience or anyone watching that we do still have 2 vacancies on the committee, and we would welcome interested applicants. You can find more information on our website.
Good. Then I'll wait till the item comes up before we acknowledge those people who are leaving the committee for their service.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I just may, it's if the board acts fully tonight, it is 3 vacancies you will be filling in. You will have 1 vacancy.
Oh, we will have 1 vacancy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, what happened to your mic? Go ahead. Oops. Go ahead.
Okay. I think you do know from the study session that we had a few weeks ago that there are 2 members who were termed off, and we are very hopeful that you can have been able to look into or are looking into the initiative for a consent waiver so that those two members can continue to serve through the 6th year of the bond. They're very key to our group. And I guess the other thing I'll say for anybody who's interested in, well, as I would encourage interest in this particular committee. The work that's being done across the district is really important, and it's exciting to see. And I think all the committee members really enjoy seeing what the district is doing.
Great. Thank you. Anything further? All right, we're going to move on now. Thank you very much, Ms. Williams, and also
Madam
for
President.
staying with it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Speaker cards. Go ahead. Yes.
Yes,
speaker
we
cards.
have 2 speaker cards,
Thank
Bob
you.
Mandel and Becca Rosa Marsh.
Great. There are people in the back saying that they put in speaker cards. Can you check that, please, on this report?
Good evening. My name is Bob Mandel. I'm a former adult ed teacher and a member of the Lakeview Sit-In Committee and the People's School. Now, they talk about using the money right? So they're closing 5 schools. They talk about using the money right. They invested $700,000 in Santa Fe, and now they're turning it over to Emeryville. They talk about using the money right, and when you look at this budget, it includes $2.3 million for Lazier, which is now a charter school. Let us talk about the misuse of facilities. Let's talk about the fact that Maxwell Park students can't walk across the street anymore and go to Maxwell Park. Why did we take over Lakeview, and why do we invite everybody, special ed parents, former adult ed students, everyone who's lost something in this district? Because the board has pursued a policy which is taking apart public education in this city. And make no mistake about it. When Tony Smith came into office, he said the first night, I am a friend of charter schools. So we watched the fact that enrollment in the district has dropped and dropped and dropped, while enrollment in charters has gone up 4-fold. This is not an accident. This is the policy of the Broads and the Bill Gateses and the folks who are out to abolish public education. We invite all of you to come down and join in making Lakeview a success and saying to the board, no more cuts. We will not tolerate them. We will keep the schools open.
Thank you. Again, these are speaker. We have 2 speaker cards on the Measure B committee's report. One was just handed in. There are agendas in the front. This is on the Measure B committee report. Let's have the next speaker, please.
My name is Dearest Pecco, and it's concerning, this is very disturbing to me, because under this measure, bond measure, you have wasted $1 million lost 2011 by improving a school yard, putting in computers, an alarm system for a school that you propose to close and lease out to Emeryville. I don't understand that. That's outrageous. That's wasting money. And you say we don't have any, then why are you wasting it? Because you're putting money to improve a school that you don't plan on using for Oakland School District. You're using this school to rent out to an Emeryville district where our Oakland school children will not be welcomed. Out-of-school district transfer takes money out of the district of Oakland. ADA will continue to go down. I don't see how this balances out. It makes no sense. I know we're talking about measures, just $3 million in public funds that you propose to use to invest in energy cost saving. It's under that bond measure. That school is going to be closed as an Oakland school district. Why would you put solar panels on the school to improve it even more for Emeryville district? That makes no sense. So you're wasting our money. That money is being wasted, not the least. I mean, I'm just going to go in this area because I'm up here. I got a few seconds. $471,000 lost in state QUIA funds. Jody London sent it back. That money was for Santa Fe Elementary School and for another school that you had on your closure list. That was to help keep those schools open. That are special fundings, and I don't understand why that money was sent back and why you could even make a decision to close a money-making, a school that saves money. Not a school that loses money, but a school that saves money. When you say, and you get to talking about money, you guys are telling stories.
Jack Gerson, Lakeview People's School for Public Education. In the discussion on special education, somehow nearly $2 million.
Can you address your remarks to the Measure B committee report, please?
Yes, I am. In the discussion on special education, somehow nearly $2 million was found. $2 million was the justification for closing down these 5 schools, which are all in predominantly black or brown communities. You didn't have to do it. You could have found that $2 million then because you didn't know you had a coding error before 2 weeks ago. There was no reason to close down that school. This is patent. It's open and shut. Now, I taught for years at Castlemont High School. When there was a fire in the music and art wing in Castlemont, it lay for some time, and there was a lot of publicity about, well, that's Castlemont out there. You know, what do you expect out there? But in Chabot Elementary, I remember sitting here and watching parents come from Chabot and saying, you know, we have, you know, some portables that are getting old, and we could really use a new building. And the board couldn't, including some present members, couldn't have been more accommodating. Oh, yes, anything you want, and that new building is now complete. Well, you know, the priorities here are pretty clear, and they need to be changed. These are priorities which are bashing the black and brown communities and catering to the people in schools like Chabot who already have huge contributions coming in from parents. You know, this is upside down, and closing these 5 schools is criminal. You had the money. You found the money today because you were pressured. You could have found the money, and you didn't want to.
Ben Tapscott, as we move forward, $435 million. Lincoln got a new building that's bigger than McClymonds High School. You tore Sears down and put Cesar Chavez up. Oakland Tech got refurbished. Oakland High got a remake. Castlemont got improved. Fremont could have had a football field. McClymonds could have at least been thought of. Nobody here thought about a school that was built in 1939? I hope as we move forward, we start thinking about the 2 schools that needs a lot of work. $79 million across the street for a very small school. Even the person from West Oakland didn't mention, what are we doing about McClymonds? What about that building? What about those children over in that part of the town? Why don't we do something for them? The fact that one of the oldest schools wasn't even thought of, was not even thought of, while all the other people got some of that $435 million. So on the next go-round, I'd like to see a beautiful building in West Oakland for those children that deserve it, and I'd like to see a real football field for Fremont High School.
I would just note for the speaker that the next item is going to address exactly the 2 issues you just, and many others. All right, does that conclude the speaker cards? We will now move on. Thank you again to the Measure B committee and your service. We're now going to